morning and welcome to another episode of Business Beat with me, Odette. Last week, we were talking about trends in the retail space, how consumers are shopping, how COVID impacted the way consumers shop, informal trade, malls, and all kinds of interesting things around the retail space. This week, I'll be talking to one of my favorite humans, none other than David Tlale, the fashion designer, who's recently opened some retail stores despite the COVID pandemic and the economy. Good morning, David, and welcome.
Good morning, Odette. How are you doing? Thank you for having me once again.
Thank you. Oh, it's so good to see you. So, you've just opened some amazing retail stores. Why the retail stores? I mean, I know that your brand is a standalone. It's huge enough to carry itself, right? But we've seen you with collaborations. We've seen you do haute couture and bespoke, and now retail with your own brand again. What inspired this?
The journey has been long coming, Odette. As you know, we've been in the industry for over 18 years. And I believe the timing was right. And also I always say to people, the pandemic has come to redefine industries, to reshape lives personally, emotionally, psychologically, and also in business as well. For us, why we went into retail, if you may recall, I think it was between 2012 and 2015, we had our own standalone store in Sandton.
Yes, I remember.
And then we had to shut down because, I think it was just also time for learning for us as a business. And were we ready? I don't know, but we did it then. We did it for a good 3 years. We sustained it. And now, I think it was last year, it was in July, and we were going through a very, very hard time as a business, and we had to make really tough choices. And I remember when I was speaking to my team to say, guys, we are really, really struggling. And because we resorted to points like we're making of masks, we're selling aprons, we're selling tiny little things that were not very much profitable. But when we got to a point of saying we have to make a decision, we had to take a leap of faith, and that required a lot of prayer, a lot of faith, a lot of determination, a lot of risk that we had to take. And we decided, okay, fine, we're going to approach Melrose Arch to open our first concept store. And we got accepted, and we started planning for this. And we launched our first concept store on the 6th of September, which was my mom's birthday.
Yes.
And we dedicated the store to her. And along the journey, Odette, I kid you not, that when we started jumping into this retail space, was we're not going to hold back. We're not going to do loungewear and, because people are just wearing much more casual clothing and stuff like that. We are just going to do what we do, which is ready to wear, high-end ready to wear. And I'm grateful that we did that because we started having to, not even trying to compete, but looking at what the international brands are doing and that are currently available in South Africa. And opportunity for us came when we said, we are doing this retail space. And we then tapped into our customer that wouldn't come to Johannesburg CBD on a regular basis.
Right.
And remember that address is everything. So now with, during the lockdown, lockdowns was being eased up, regulations were being eased up. We got into level 3 and people were starting to go out a bit. There were weddings, there was a bit of celebrations. And we saw people coming out in not huge numbers, but in numbers that are actually able to sustain us as a business. And shortly after that, we got an opportunity to collaborate with Jean Duplessis, who is an amazing artist. He was doing an exhibition at Riverville Hotel in Waterfall. And he said, David, I'd like you to be part of the collaboration. And then I went to the meeting, And they said, well, I mean, we've got this space that we've been trying to do, like a retail space into. I was like, let me look at it. And I mean, the owner of Riverville was like super kind to us to say, David, if you want to exhibit your clothing here, it's great. I was like, well, let's not just do an exhibition. Let's not only do an installation. Can we turn it to a David Tlale store? He goes, are you sure you can do that within the next 3 weeks? I was like, absolutely. I'm going to take the challenge. And lo and behold, we worked super hard, opened our second flagship store at Riverville in Waterfall. And then later on, it was Menlyn. On the 29th of January, we launched our Cape Town branch on my birthday. And so we're standing as a business right now. We have 4 flagship stores, and that we are actually, it's just purely David Tlale stores. And also we're supplying 2 other amazing stores like Africa Rise, which is a brainchild from Tula Cindy. And we're selling at the Mansion in Hyde Park. And also we're selling in New York at the Flying Solo. So I would say the pandemic came and it redefined who we are, because we've been known for high-end, like you said, couture and bespoke. But tapping into retail, it has taught us quite a lot to say, the more you expose yourself, the more you make the brand available to people, people are more receptive, people are more willing to say, okay, let me just go buy a dress to David Tlale. And people ask, are you being profitable? For us, it's not about being profitable. It's just seizing the moment and seizing the opportunity that is at hand right now. And 18 years later, we're learning quite a lot of things. We're learning quite a lot of avenues, and we're tapping into new clientele. And I was talking to, he's like, David, do you know that retail is actually like a bug? Once you start, you can't stop. So, and it's been really like that. And it's been like really, really fantastic, Odette. I kid you not. And we are learning, we are growing, and we are getting to know new customers, new avenues. And I think it's actually fun. And beyond anything else, question like you asked me why. Over the years, we've been a brand. And now it's time to say to people, David Tlale is available. Yes. David Tlale is accessible. I mean, yes, our collaboration with Avon South Africa has been like really fantastic. But now it's just making sure that people are just able to buy just like a beautiful blouse from David Tlale off the rack. You don't have to wait for 2 weeks or even 5 days for it to be made. Right. You don't have to come in for you know what I'm saying? So it's all about making the product and the brand David Tlale accessible to the market, and also to say to people, it's time that we become patriotic. The pandemic has brought nothing else but
absolutely, I agree.
An aspect of us being patriotic, being proudly South African, made in South Africa, by South Africans and Africans that we actually work with. So our retail journey has been like really phenomenal.
Tell me, David, we've got the stores where people can come and take something off the rack. Are you going to be taking the store online? Because there's a huge growth of online shopping. And what makes the consumer experience in a David Tlale store different from another high-end clothing retail store?
Let's start with the first one. Thanks for the compliment, but I'm just saying, as I said, the pandemic comes to redefine and remold all industries, not just fashion. And I would say brands that have been strongly rooted and founded in education, in experience, and everything, other brands are going to stand the test of time. And are we going to go online? Absolutely. We are working on our online presence. Yes, we are currently available on on www.davidtlale.com. There are items that you can buy. We are going to go on a huge marketing exercise as a business to make sure that our online presence is amplified. And also, like, we're seeing quite a lot of interest from local customers, international customers, which is like really fantastic.
Thank you so much for making the time. I know you have such a crazy schedule at the moment. To the viewers, there you have it. I think David's story is a wonderful case study for any entrepreneur, irrespective of what industry you're in. To have a desire to go big and to go bold will require determination through some of the toughest times. It will also require that you learn from your mistakes. And if I were you, I'd follow David on all his social media handles. And if you're up for a really nice experience, pop by one of his stores. Until next week.